Hey, what's going on? And you're tuned into another episode of Hotels Do's and Don'ts, where we show you how hotel management, the things that we love and the things that, of course, will need some improvement. I'm Bruce Jordan. I'm former ISG corporate. I managed over $1 billion in assets and over $300 million in revenue. My number one goal is making hotels more money. This is one of my favorite places. This is a place where I come to relax, enjoy myself, and just get some time for myself to think about different strategies and different techniques and different ideas that I can implement inside of my hotel or your hotel. So right now we are at the Palazzo. It's over here in Kissimmee. I had the honor and the privilege to actually compete against this hotel. I happen to be in my market segment, and this is a tough hotel to beat, let me tell you. But of course, if anyone can beat this hotel, it's got to be me. But today I'm not here to beat it. Today I'm here to improve it, to where we point out the do's and don'ts of this particular location. Come with me. Let me show you what we got over here. One idea I love about this place is the front desk. They have amazing service. One particular service I love is the royal service. Let me show you what this thing looks like. This right here is amazing. So when you have VIP guests, they come over here to the royal service and they're introduced to a higher, exquisite level of the hotel. Now, with the royal service, it includes a different type of breakfast. It includes, it has different amenities, and it just gives that extra oomph and that extra pizzazz to a customer when they come in. Who doesn't want the royal service, especially when you feel like you're royalty? Some of the things that I love about the operation is, one, the design. Whoever did the design for this particular hotel did an amazing job. The lobby, the ambiance. This particular hotel was designed for, nice romantic couples and maybe for a family getaway. It's located, I'll probably say, anywhere from 8 to 9 miles away from Disney. So of course, everybody want to come here with their family. What I love about this hotel, besides other hotels in this particular location, is that most hotels in this area has nothing but double bed rooms, because this is a tourist attraction. Families are coming to see Disney. But for some strange reason, this particular hotel has a nice balance between king and queens. So it's perfect for a romantic getaway. They also have jet skiing as well. So the room was nice and clean. I didn't have any issues there, but this hotel just opened back up. So it was closed for, 2 or 3 months due to the pandemic, and it just opened back up recently. So that was, when you're opening up a hotel back up that's been closed a while, for any general manager or for any management operation, you're gonna run into a couple of bumps in the road. One of the major issues that I seen here was some minor maintenance issues that looks like it just missed. It was just missed in their inspection. Not such a big deal, for someone like me who's been here, knows the business, understand the business. But for a guest, when they walk into a room and they see minor maintenance issues, it's a reflection of what's due and in store as far as what they're expecting in their stay or in their next stay. Now, as far as for operations, housekeeping did an amazing job. We found a couple of errors here and there, but nothing, major or anything that needed, immediate attention or immediate correction. So as far as the operation of the whole hotel and cleanliness, I'm going to give it an 8.0. When I competed against this hotel, at one point in time, their rates were, up in $100 to $150 a night. Now their rates are very, very low. I booked this room at about $30, $35. Meanwhile, the competition in the area, they're booking their rooms at $40 to $50. So I'm thinking, just because they're just opening back up, that they're having some, they're trying to fill it out when you're just opening a hotel, especially when it has COVID, there's a lot of CDC regulations and guidelines that you have to follow, and you have no choice. So I think they're just doing a little soft opening so they can test out their procedures and policies and how they're executing and implementing them. So those are some of the issues that they're experiencing right now. I know the general manager personally, he's almost as good as I am, almost. You know, I had to manage 9 hotels, $1 billion in assets and $300 million in revenue. So he's not quite where where I'm at, but he's getting there. He manages this property and another property called Magic Moment simultaneously. I know what that is like. So the revenue side needs some work. One thing that I noticed is that I didn't get a text or a phone call ask me how was my room when I first checked in. The second thing I noticed is that I didn't get offered an upgrade. This place has 2 sides. It has a lakeside view with a beautiful balcony that when you walk out to your balcony, you see nothing but the lake. So I'm not sure why I didn't get offered those rooms should be like your 2nd level upgrade rooms. You can get more money for those rooms versus the view of the parking lot. That was not offered. It's probably because I come here so often and I get VIP treatment. That may be one of the reasons. But this particular time, I didn't book the room in my name just to see if I would be treated differently or the guests would be treated differently. And unfortunately, she didn't get offered an upgrade either. Now, the third thing that I noticed is that there is no room for any additional fees that can be added that they didn't put into their wholesales process. What I mean by that is I didn't get offered breakfast delivered to me where I can charge extra for breakfast being delivered. People are willing to pay a couple extra dollars just for breakfast to be delivered. I did like the breakfast setup. One thing I noticed is that the executive chef was amazing. Now, when it comes to free breakfast, what they did for the pandemic was great. They had a display where they showed you all the breakfasts that was available, and it was prepared for you, and no one touched it. It was not buffet style, and it was portioned immaculately. So they're able to control their costs versus having a buffet where your cost is going to be $10,000, one week and $3,000 the next. This was an ingenious idea by the executive chef. I love it. I give him a 10 out of 10 just for cost savings and as far as inventory control on how he set up that breakfast. But unfortunately, they're missing the boat when it comes to adding additional revenues and additional services, which I think they're going to be changing in the interim. I'll probably say give it a couple of weeks, that's something that they're going to change. But there is no additional fees. At checkout, during checkout time, I did not get a text asking me if I wanted to extend my stay. Now, as I told you before, I was able to book this room at, $30-35, a rate that is nowhere near where it should be. So I think they're undervaluing themselves initially just to get some things on board, and then maybe later on down the line, they'll start increasing the rate. But revenue management for this particular property, I can see that for anyone, it will be a challenge when you're running 2 properties and you're doing it at not the same level of staffing that you did when you're selling rooms at $100, $150 a night. Another problem that comes with lower rates is that you don't get the crowd that you're used to. So it's going to bring in a lot of wear and tear and a lot of maintenance on your property. And this property is just way too beautiful to put themselves in that situation with that particular level of guests. One thing that I did have an issue with was when we got here, they were pretty much sold out. When I looked online, the rates were the same. Hotels is very different. We don't base our prices on the market. We base our prices on occupancy. So when we're at 50% occupancy, our rate is going to be a little different. When we're at 70% occupancy, our rate is going to be higher. When we're at 80%, 90%, our rate keeps going up. They were at 100% occupancy. They maybe had 1 or 2 rooms left, and all their rates stayed the same. That didn't make much sense to me. But like I said, when you're running multiple hotels at one time and you don't have the level of staffing that you had before the pandemic, I get it. You're only one person. You can only do so much. So if it was me, if I can't do the revenue management myself, I'll probably hire someone outside to take care of the revenue management for me. The other thing that I noticed, which I thought was a little strange, is that when you look up this hotel, the pricing is different on different OTAs. So the pricing was a little bit higher on Booking than it was on Expedia. Now, you don't want that, particularly because this is what happens. Well, you have all of these programs and stuff that's going on with Booking.com and Expedia that when they really take a look at everything and the prices are different, they're trying to figure out what's going on. Like me, I try to dissuade myself from Expedia versus Booking.com because Expedia, they cut your rate down to the bare bones with all their promotions and rewards programs and stuff like that, and we end up eating the cost on those programs. So Expedia is probably someone that I would have had my rate a little bit higher because their fees are higher versus a Booking.com that their fees, most of them are pretty standard. So the revenue side of this place, I'm going to have to give it a 5.5 just because of the revenue management issues that I've seen, just because of the additional fee revenues that I've seen. And of course, they're just not capitalizing on their current customer. Customers are here to spend money. They could have stayed at their mama's house. They could have stayed with their cousin. They could have stayed with a Facebook friend. They could have chose Airbnb, but they came to our hotel. You know why? To spend money. We are the ones that decide how much money that they're going to spend. And in this particular location, from what I've seen, they don't want them to spend much. Now, what really tipped the ball for me is, like I said, I stayed at this hotel before quite a few times. It's my getaway, my ThinkPad. This particular hotel, when they opened, I didn't get one email saying, hey, I opened, here's a special rate to negate and prevent me booking on Booking.com, which we end up doing. You have the opportunity to get direct bookings to give a special rate and you don't take advantage of it. Meanwhile, you're paying a 15-20% commission to Booking.com and Expedia for a $30, $40 rate. That makes no sense to me, which is why, unfortunately, from a revenue generation standpoint, the revenue master magician has to give this place a 5.5. But operation-wise, this place is superb. Once it gets the revenue things under wraps, this place is going to be a powerhouse. I recommend that you check this place out. You're gonna love the operation. You're gonna love your room. You're gonna love the design. You're gonna enjoy the lake. It's just an amazing property. And we'll talk to you soon.